Alright, let's talk about WWE Raw. Okay, so the show starts out with John Cena, and he calls out the Nexus and says they're done, and the Nexus basically is like, no, we're stronger than ever, we've learned, from our mistakes and whatnot. And then, so it starts out good because they have the general manager, anonymous general manager say, all of you guys are going to compete in a series of matches tonight. Which is good because it gives them all a shot at redemption. I liked how Wade Barrett turned that around, the phrasing and everything. And then the stupid part is that they let John Cena get under their skin, and they up the ante, so to speak, and say, if anybody loses, they're out. At which point, Otunga chimes in and says, okay, but if you lose, Barrett, you're out. So they started out first with Barrett, which they could have put this at the end for more suspense to see if the leader was going to leave. But they started out, at the very beginning with Wade Barrett against Chris Jericho. And the best part is that they had Wade Barrett win this clean. He beat a former, 5-6-time world champion clean. So that puts over the Nexus, puts over the leader of the Nexus, Wade Barrett. Then there's a segment with Justin Long and Charlie Day and some other guy whose name I can't remember from some upcoming movie that I don't recall the name and don't care about. Personally, I think it'd be really cool if they had a guest host episode where it was all of the members of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. At first I was like, I don't give a crap about the guest host, and I still didn't really. And then when I saw that Charlie Day was on it, I was like, oh sweet, it's Charlie from Sunny in Philadelphia. So it'd be cool if they did that to promote the new season of Sunny that's starting up. Then they have an announcement that the WWE Unified Tag Team Championships will henceforth be referred to as the WWE Tag Team Championships, and they have Bret the Hitman Hart come out and award new championship belts to reflect this. Because I was wondering how long it was going to be before they did something like that, before they split the tag titles up, before they just merged them back into one belt. So they take those belts away and give them brand new ones. These new ones look completely different than any WWE belt in recent memory. They look more like the WAMA, the World Association of Mixed Martial Arts from MMA. Looked like the world title from that place. But I'm sure these would get seen way more often than those belts do. And but when they said it's going to be referred to as the WWE Tag Team Championships, which is the previous name of the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. But then if you go to the website, www.com, and you go to the title histories and you click on the picture of the new belts, it takes you to the World Tag Team title history, the old WWF World Tag Team title history. So, I don't know. Only time will tell if they're going to somehow keep updating both title histories on the website to reflect any changes after the Hart Dynasty. That's where it'll get interesting, and we'll see where they're going with that. But at the same time, it's kind of annoying to see there being two sets of women's champions, but only one set of tag team champions. Plus, I haven't seen the tag titles defended in a long time, let alone the U.S. title, but I see where they're going with the U.S. title situation. And then Michael Tarver competes next, and he defeats Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan, because The Miz and Alex Riley interfere. Now, might as well just rant on this for a moment now. If any of you watch Season 2 of NXT, Alex Riley won the punching challenge and was guaranteed a singles match on Monday Night Raw. Personally, I thought this was great because since he was at the bottom of the poll, he was going to get a chance to show everybody what he had so that he wouldn't get eliminated tonight during double elimination night. It's Tuesday night, by the way. And, Tuesday afternoon. And, they completely didn't have this. I was sitting there watching the entire time thinking, okay, how much time do they got? How much time do they have? Do they have time to fit that Alex Riley match in? What are they doing? So I was sitting there hoping the entire time that maybe the final match would be Alex Riley against Sheamus to weaken Sheamus up so that the Miz could cash in Money in the Bank or something. In which case Daniel Bryan would probably come out, but I was hoping for something like that the entire show. It didn't happen. But back to what actually happened. All in all, Michael Tarver against Daniel Bryan. Miz, Alex Riley interfere and help Michael Tarver win. All in all, this was good because I really was sitting on the edge of my seat going, okay, I want to see if any of these members, of the Nexus leave. And I mean, I think it was stupid that they're having people with the Nexus leave, putting their careers in the Nexus on the line. But at the same time, I was sitting there not wanting to walk away from the couch from the TV because I wanted to see what would happen. So I guess they did their job. Good job, WWE. Then we have Justin Gabriel against Bret the Hitman Hart. Oh, no, we don't. The anonymous general manager takes Bret Hart out of the match, says he didn't want to see him compete on Raw. Clearly this is because Bret Hart's injured and can never really wrestle, which is why he shouldn't have been on Team WWE at SummerSlam in the first place, let alone ever come back or anything. So Randy Orton comes out, which means, okay, looks like Randy Orton's going to win, right? Because Justin Gabriel has probably the second most chance of anybody becoming a regular member of the roster and leaving the Nexus, becoming a face. But he ends up succeeding because Sheamus comes out, although he wins by countout because Sheamus takes Randy Orton away. But I don't recall if Sheamus actually threw and landed a punch first or if Orton did it. So if anybody wants to look back at that, if Sheamus did it first, then theoretically Orton should have won by disqualification, by interference, and Justin Gabriel should be out of Nexus. But whatever, it was just all kinds of cheap ways they could think of to keep people in the Nexus winning but not going over clean. Then we have David Otunga and Skip Sheffield against John Morrison and R-Truth. I know they like pairing John Morrison and R-Truth together, but I think they're not a good team. Mostly because they really don't have anything in common other than just saying, oh, they're friends. They need to maybe have a team name or something in common. But it's good to see that they're teaming two of these guys up to pass some time, because it was going to take a little bit longer. It was going to take up almost all the time of the show, having singles matches. But Otunga and Sheffield win. Not a big thing. It was good. I expected both of them to win. I wasn't sure if both of them were going to win, but when they had a tag team match, I was like, oh, they're not going to have two members leave immediately like that. So I knew they were going to win as soon as that match started. And then this one was a complete time waster. They had Jillian, Alicia Fox, Maurice defeating Melina, Eve, and Gail Kim. Jillian actually gets the win, which was cool. And then Michael Cole and them just essentially just rip on Jillian Hall and say how horrible she is and she never gets a win ever. This must have been her first victory. Granted, her last victory was when she won the Divas Championship, and then she lost it like 4 seconds later. But then they bring back the stupid. They mentioned, I'd kind of forgotten about it, to be honest with you. But they brought up the whole thing where she had a mole on her face, like a giant mole, and then the boogeyman ate it off. Stupid. Why? They shouldn't even bring that back. And quite frankly, they should just get rid of Jillian, just because they shouldn't be able to make references to the boogeyman days. And so next we have Heath Slater trying to convince Edge to just forfeit and let him, walk away scot-free. And then Edge, calls him a ginger and a wannabe and a freak and stuff, so they have a match. Then Edge, he loses by countout. Yeah. This was actually one of the only ones that was believable. And it was just another way for Nexus to win without making the WWE vets look, weak or anything. So how this goes down is they're outside brawling almost immediately. They didn't really wrestle in the ring very long. So they're brawling outside. And, Orton runs after Slater. Slater moves at the last second, rolls into the ring. Orton hits the steel steps, so he's not going to get up, immediately, and they're already so late in the count that Slater wins by count out. This is perfectly acceptable in my mind. I was kind of thinking Slater might lose, but, what are you going to do? Then we have the main event. We have John Cena against Darren Young. Now, Darren Young being called the weak link all the time, being the one that Cena took out earlier. Plus, if anybody watched NXT Season 1, Young was one of the biggest faces ever with that crowd. People liked him. So, he's got them. Plus, he looks like John Cena in the face and stuff, so they made mention of that. Just makes me think that, second this match started, even earlier in the night, I knew that he was going to be the only one that was going to lose. and that is exactly the case. Although, unlike the other guys, they actually let him wrestle for a while before he submitted. And then, as expected, the Nexus comes out, they let John Cena leave, and they just, attack. They attack Darren Young and exile him from the Nexus as promised, which is stupid because when WWE was falling apart for their SummerSlam match, and the Nexus is laughing and having a good time, making fun of them, and essentially Team WWE would be backstage making fun of these guys now, seeing them start to crumble and lose members and things, but it's their own doing for letting Cena get under their skin. And then finally, Barrett tells Justin Gabriel to go up there and do the 450 splash onto Darren Young, his former teammate, and you can see, I think he might have just been getting himself prepared to do the move, taking a deep breath and getting calm. And he always holds his chest afterwards too, it actually hurts him when he does it. And it might, I've never done the move, but it kind of came off on screen he had a little bit of remorse and second thought about attacking his buddy, but he had to do it because if he didn't, his buddies might attack him. So, all in all, it's a pretty good episode of Raw. I can't comment about. It was good for the aftermath of SummerSlam. I didn't see SummerSlam, but I read all the reviews and I read what was happening, and I tried to post a video up on YouTube, and there was an option on YouTube on the website. You can click and it says upload directly from your webcam without having to record it and then upload it yourself. So I was like, alright, sweet, that's a time saver, let's just do that. And it sent the video up, absolutely, but it didn't send any sound for whatever reason. So, it is what it is. I can't re-record I guess I could. There's no point in re-recording my rant at this point. There's probably thousands of people out there complaining about how terrible SummerSlam was. So, I'm probably going to come back in here later tonight for NXT review. But, let me just go ahead and say who I think is going to leave NXT, because there's 2 people leaving NXT tonight. And I think Husky Harris will be the first one out. And I'm really hoping. It's tough. It's actually getting down to a point where I want all of those guys to succeed in some way. They all have lots of potential. But Husky Harris is probably going to go first. And then I want Showtime Percy Watson to be eliminated close, really close second. But yeah, so I think Husky Harris and Showtime Percy Watson are out tonight. So that's the end of my review, and we'll see if I'm right about the NXT tonight. So I'll see you guys tonight.